From riches to ruins, a look at 10 fallen nations. All right, let's get started with a little trip down memory lane. This, my friends, is Beirut, Lebanon, or at least it back in the swinging 60s. Glamorous, right? A playground for the jet set, dripping with wealth and opportunity. Now, feast your eyes on this. Same city, different decade, looking like it stumbled out of a Michael Bay film. What the hell happened? A brutal civil war ripped through the country, turning this once thriving nation into a cautionary tale. So buckle up, dear viewers, as we embark on a whirlwind tour of shattered dreams and squandered potential. Iraq, from cradle of civilization to crumbling dictatorship. Iraq. The land of Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization, the birthplace of writing, law, and those delicious little date squares my aunt can't stop bringing to family gatherings. Iraq was once a regional powerhouse, flush with oil money and swagger to spare. Remember Saddam Hussein? Moustache for days, a penchant for palaces, and a human rights record that could make a dictator blush. Saddam's reign was brutal, but even amidst the horrors there was a strange sort of stability. Today, Iraq is a shadow of its former self, its oil wealth squandered, its people traumatized, and its future uncertain. Afghanistan, the graveyard of empires still waiting for its resurrection. Afghanistan, land of towering mountains, fierce warriors, and enough geopolitical baggage to make a baggage handler weep. This is a country that chews up empires and spits them out, leaving a trail of broken dreams and shattered armies in its wake. The British learned it the hard way, the Soviets learned it the hard way. And guess what? The Americans? Yeah, they're learning it the hard way too. Today, Afghanistan is facing a humanitarian catastrophe of epic proportions. Zimbabwe, from breadbasket to basket case. Zimbabwe. Once upon a time, this landlocked nation was known as the breadbasket of Africa. Its fertile soil produced enough food to feed the region, its economy was booming, and its future looked brighter than a hippopotamus in a reflecting vest. Enter Robert Mugabe, a man who could give lessons in how to turn a country from prosperous to pathetic in record time. Zimbabwe remains mired in poverty, corruption, and political instability, a cautionary tale of what happens when a leader values power over the well-being of his people. Chapter 4, Democratic Republic of the Congo, a heart of darkness still beating. The Democratic Republic of Congo. A country so tragically misnamed, it's almost funny. Almost. This vast nation, smack dab in the heart of Africa, is cursed with an abundance of natural resources. We're talking diamonds, gold, coltan, that stuff in your smartphones, folks. You name it, the DRC has it in spades. You'd think that would make it rich, right? Well, you'd be wrong. Today the DRC remains mired in poverty, conflict and despair. A tragic reminder that sometimes having too much of a good thing can be a curse in disguise. Chapter 5. Libya, from Gaddafi's grip to a nation unglued. Libya. Land of scorching deserts, ancient ruins, and for a brief shining moment, free healthcare and education. Under the iron-fisted rule of Muammar Gaddafi, Libya enjoyed a surprisingly high standard of living. Sure, Gaddafi was a bit eccentric, with his Bedouin tents, female bodyguards, and a penchant for rambling, nonsensical speeches. But hey, at least the trains ran on time, right? Well, not quite. Today, Libya is a failed state, a haven for smugglers, human traffickers, and all sorts of unsavory characters. It's a stark reminder that toppling a dictator is often the easy part. Chapter 6. Somalia, from pirate paradise to perpetual crisis, Somalia. Even the name conjures up images of starving children, warlords with sunglasses and bad teeth, and pirates hijacking ships with the reckless abandon of a toddler on a sugar high. But it wasn't always this way. Somalia, strategically located at the Horn of Africa, boasts a rich history and culture. Once upon a time, it even had a functioning government. Today, while piracy has waned, Somalia remains mired in conflict and instability. The country is facing a dire humanitarian crisis, with millions in need of food, water, and basic healthcare. Chapter 7. Haiti. From Jewel of the Caribbean to Disaster Zone, Haiti. The Pearl of the Antilles, they called it. This Caribbean island nation was once a French colony, awash in sugar plantations, coffee exports, and the unfortunate side effect of colonialism, brutal slavery. In fact, Haiti was the first independent black republic in the world, born from a slave revolt that sent shockwaves across the globe. Today, Haiti remains the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, struggling with widespread poverty, lack of infrastructure, and a political system that seems perpetually on the verge of collapse. It's a heartbreaking reminder that history casts a long shadow. Chapter 8. Yemen, from ancient kingdoms to modern ruins. Yemen, land of ancient civilizations, frankincense, and more recently, drone strikes and cholera outbreaks. Once upon a time, Yemen was a major trading hub, its ports bustling with merchants hawking spices, textiles, and all sorts of exotic goods. Fast forward to the present day, and Yemen is a shell of its former glory. Millions are on the brink of famine, cholera is spreading like wildfire, and the country's infrastructure has been bombed back to the Stone Age. It's a tragic reminder that while Yemen may be ancient, its people are paying the price for very modern conflicts. Chapter 9. Venezuela, from oil powerhouse to economic disaster. Venezuela. Remember when this South American nation was synonymous with oil wealth, beauty queens, and telenovelas? Yeah, those were the days. Blessed with the world's largest proven oil reserves, Venezuela should have been rolling in dough. Enter Hugo Chavez, a charismatic but deeply flawed leader who promised to redistribute the country's wealth to the poor. When oil prices crashed in 2014, Venezuela's house of cards came tumbling down. Today, Venezuela is mired in a humanitarian crisis, with millions fleeing the country in search of a better life. It's a stark reminder that even the most abundant natural resources can't save a country from the consequences of disastrous economic policies. Chapter 10. Syria, from cradle of civilization to battlefield of broken dreams, Syria. A land steeped in history where ancient cities rose and fell, empires clashed and civilizations flourished. Before the war, Syria was a vibrant nation home to a diverse population, a rich cultural heritage, and a promising tourism industry. Then came the Arab Spring, a wave of pro-democracy protests that swept across the Middle East and North Africa. In Syria, the protests were met with brutal repression from the regime of Bashar al-Assad. Today, Syria is a shattered nation, its people scattered, its economy in ruins, and its future uncertain. It's a tragic reminder that even in the 21st century, the ghosts of history can return to haunt us. So, there you have it. 10 countries, each with its own unique story of decline and despair. The reasons behind the downfall of these nations are complex, multifaceted, and often rooted in a toxic cocktail of corruption, mismanagement, conflict, and external interference. There's no single villain to blame, no easy solution to offer. But by understanding the factors that contributed to their demise, we can perhaps learn from their mistakes and strive to build a more just, equitable, and sustainable world. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this journey through the annals of global misfortune, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos exploring the complexities of our world.